What's up, guys? We got my daughter here. She's going to do the whole seminar. Um, got my son last time, so now you can see the vast differences. So, I want to talk about abs today, but I also want to talk about Troika real quick. What is Troika, and what was my mindset when I started Troika? Well, training itself is great for the body, great for the health, great for the mind. But there are some aspects to just weight resistance training um, that can set you back in other areas. So, working on stretching is a big part that people neglect when they train. So, mobility becomes a little bit sacrificed when you do just resistance training. So, my whole idea with Troika was to create a comprehensive program for everybody. So, if you get real strong and you compromise your mobility, you're not going to be a great athlete. If you are a great power lifter, but you cannot run a mile in under 10 minutes, you're not going to be a great athlete. So you can obviously excel in certain areas, and that's great, but you won't be well rounded. So my idea with Troika was to develop well-rounded athletes and to just get better people in better athletic positions and better health overall, not just from a physique standpoint, not just from a physical aesthetic standpoint, but from a health and wellness and standpoint, and from a mobility standpoint. So mobility and movement go hand in hand. So when I found Kathy, I knew Kathy was really good at what she does, and I could see how far she's come and the knowledge that she was bringing to the table. So I took Kathy and I kind of explained this concept to her. I could have picked a lot of different yoga instructors. I've been in the field for almost 8 years now, and I could have picked somebody else, but Kathy, she is a high level expert and she has her way of teaching that I really like. It's important to be able to communicate what the method is to the person. So you might have a very knowledgeable trainer or a very knowledgeable coach, but if they don't communicate their process in a way that you can understand it and you can apply it while being personable, you might not get the full experience of what they're trying to teach you. So Kathy was really good at that, and I wanted to pair up and bring this package of service to everybody. Christian and Scott, they're experts in boxing. And with that comes endurance training, and it's just a different way of doing cardio. It's more fun. And it applies a different kind of mindset and a different kind of strength that you don't get in the gym. So if we take these three elements, you can be a well-rounded athlete. Okay. So that was my whole idea when designing Troika and building Troika. People have the conception that it's just the Troika Fit class, but it's actually this whole motion, mobility, mindset. These three principles that make Troika. Okay. So I just wanted to say that so you guys understand what I'm trying to bring to the table, what I'm trying to bring to you guys through Kathy, through Christian, through Scott, and through myself. You can look great, but it doesn't necessarily mean you are great as far as your movement goes or you're great internally. Okay. And here we can talk about abs, because there are a lot of people who might look good and they might not be great internally. You don't know if somebody can be a little bit overweight and actually be healthy. Someone can be really lean and be unhealthy. So a six-pack doesn't necessarily mean you're healthy. Six-pack, can be a symbolism of someone that is in good shape. Okay, we all know that. We all look at it that way. So let's talk about the abs first. Okay, the abs are four muscles. So you have the obliques, which are two different muscles, but the abs, we're looking at the TVA, which is a common term in the fitness profession, which is the transverse abdominis. Okay, that's kind of on the outside and wraps around. the abs. So you might think of it as being kind of like right around here, okay? Now, the rectus abdominis is what people think a six-pack is, okay? When you think six-pack, we're referring to the rectus abdominis. So that is another muscle, and it is more centered, okay? So the rectus abdominis and the transverse abdominis. So just understand that there's multiple muscles, and the obliques, they wrap around. When you think about obliques, you got to think about the sides, okay? That is what gives people that V shape that you might see in a magazine or your favorite model, whatever. So the abs and the core are two different things. And the mistake people make is they think it's the same thing. When they say, I'm working my core, they're really trying to say I'm working my abs, but they're two different things. The core is a group of 29 muscles that controls the movement of your spine. Okay, so it includes a lot of different muscles, and the core is not the abs. So they're two different things. The abs is what you would normally visually see, but the transverse abdominis is more internal, it's deeper. The rectus abdominis is more on the surface. So just know that there's a difference between the core and the abs. So when you're talking about ab training, we're talking about just building that muscle, okay? I know a lot of fitness professionals and a lot of bodybuilders who actually don't train abs, but they have a six-pack. Sometimes I'll go periods where I don't train abs for over a month, and I can step on stage with a full six-pack like you see in the picture that is the thumbnail to this video. I hadn't trained abs in a month leading up to that picture. And that's just the reality. I'm giving you guys the real truth. I'm not here to tell you guys some false reality. The way to get the abs is low body fat. Sometimes you may have heard the term abs are made in the kitchen. If you haven't heard it, now you've heard it. Okay, abs are definitely made in the kitchen. What that means is it's all nutrition related and it's not training related whatsoever. So everybody structurally and genetically has abs at different percentages, different percentage body fat. So, for example, me, I can have abs at 12, 13% body fat, while, Kenny, one of my clients, he needs to get down 5% or lower to really see the abs. Everybody's different. So if you go online, you try to Google, what percentage body fat I'm going to see abs, most of them are going to tell you like 8%, 9%. Once you get below 10%, you typically will start to see some abs, but everybody is different. So genetically, some people might have to push their body fat even lower to get there. Some people don't have to push that hard at all, but everybody carries body fat in different places. The only common thing is that you hold most of the fat in the midsection. Most men and women will hold fat in the midsection. Okay. So that's always going to be the last place to go, which makes it harder to attain a six-pack. How hard do you need to diet? Well, dieting is really all about just being in a calorie deficit. Okay. We're talking about six-pack. We're talking about being lean. It's all about getting lean enough to see that muscle. If you don't have any fat covering the abs, you'll be able to see the abs. That's what it really comes down to. Some people have to diet harder than others. Some people have to get leaner than others. So you just have to be in a calorie deficit long enough to get rid of that fat. That's the reality. It's pretty simple. Just because I have abs at 12 or 13% doesn't mean I don't have to work hard to get there, right? In order for me to be on stage and presentable, I have to get down to 4%, 3%. So every muscle has to be hard. We say in bodybuilding, you're only as lean as your fattest body part. So you got to get lean everywhere if you want to be, competitive and you want to be considered, a top competitor in the bodybuilding world. So in a lifestyle world, we just want to be healthy and in shape. It's a matter of sticking it out long enough, just being disciplined, being consistent. If you're consistent for long enough, you'll get lean enough. Pushing through those plateaus can be a mystery sometimes. That's why I do coaching. That's why I do methods that help you break those plateaus. If you watch my first video, I go over some of the things that help break through plateaus. And it's not what you might think. It's not necessarily driving cardio up. It's not necessarily eating less. It's sometimes backwards. So watch that first video if you want more information on that. But yeah, guys, the core stabilizes you. This stabilizes you during squats, deadlifts, and other major compound movements. The abs are what you visually see. So know the difference. So when someone says, I'm training core, you can ask him, are you doing squats? Because in reality, when you're doing squats, you're training your core, as well as your legs and your glutes and everything else. So now I hope I gave you guys a little more knowledge on that. Just get lean enough. That's really what it comes down to, okay? Now, cash or trash. I have not gone over any trash foods, and I will mention one trash food that's very common. They sell it in nutrition shops. They sell it at the grocery store. But let's go over some cash first. Oikos Greek yogurt. Some people can have it, some people can't. Depends on if you're sensitive to dairy. Now, Oikos, this has 17 grams of protein, 7 grams of carbs, and no fat. The thing with this one is they also make flavored versions that don't have any added sugar. So there's berry, there's vanilla, there's other flavors that you can get that have the same amount of protein, no sugar added. They have the same numbers as this one. Okay, this is plain. It's pretty tart. Some people like it, some people don't. So check out the Oikos 000 Greek yogurt if you want a flavored one. Otherwise, you can get this one. There's other good brands. If you want a flavored one, Dannon Light and Fit is another version. The only difference between Oikos 000 and Dannon Light and Fit is that Dannon Light and Fit has some artificial sweetener, and 000 does not. That's why the 3 zeros, it's like 0 fat, 0 sugar, and there's another one I cannot remember. 0 artificial sweetener, I believe. So that you can buy at Safeway, you can buy at Target, you can buy at many different stores. Okay, same thing with this one. It's actually one more thing. It's a great snack. If you want to add some protein powder to it and mix it, you can make it like a pudding, and you can have 40 grams of protein real easy. And it's just in a cup, really easy to eat. All right, this is one that I eat all the time. If I don't feel like eating eggs for breakfast, I eat these. Now, they also make a powdered mix that's really common. You can make as many as you want, but this is really easy. Okay, these are pancakes. Okay, they're frozen, they're already cooked. They come out perfect every time I microwave them. 90 seconds in the microwave, and these are ready. You can put whatever you want on them, but the real key is it's got 14 grams of protein, only 2 grams of fat, which is very low, and 30 grams of carbs. 4 of those carbs are fiber. So you can see that. Pretty good macros, right? So if you add a shake to that, for example, 1 scoop of a shake, you have with the pancakes, which is something I periodically do, you're basically getting about 40 grams of protein right there. Okay. Nice breakfast. Nice if you want something sweet. All right. Oh, by the way, you can get the waffles pretty much everywhere. Safeway, Target. They don't have it at Trader Joe's. Whole Foods has it. Make sure it says flapjacks, because the other one, they make waffles, which are also great, but these have less fat. Okay, so they have better macros overall. All right, this is strictly Trader Joe's product. Okay, it's green goddess salad dressing, but I put it in my chicken and rice, fish and rice all the time, just a little bit, because it adds a lot of flavor. It's got avocado, green onion, lemon juice, chives, basil, and garlic. Okay, so it's vegan, very low calorie. There's not a lot of salad dressings that are low calorie in general. So 2 grams of fat, 0 protein, 1 carb. Okay, really good macros, and it just adds some kind of flavor, to your food. If you don't cook with a lot of seasoning or herbs, like I don't. I normally I sprinkle some seasoning a little bit while I cook, but this goes great into the meal. I'll usually put about 2 tablespoons into the meal and mix it up. It's 20 calories that you're adding to the food, and it gives a lot of flavor. So Trader Joe's, Green Goddess, the pancakes, and the Greek yogurt. Okay, if you want flavored, 000 or Dannon Light and Fit. Dannon Light and Fit's a little more liquidy. The 000 is a little creamier because it's got some added fiber to it. That's another benefit of the Oikos over the Dannon, is it does have some added fiber. Okay, the trash. We don't have any trash in this house, so I'm just going to tell you guys about it. It's very common. It's Lenny and Larry's cookies. They're called the Complete Cookie. You might have seen it. They sell them everywhere. And here's the thing with those cookies. They're basically a regular cookie. All right. They've got over 50 grams of carbs, 13 grams of fat, 16 grams of protein for the whole cookie. But most of the protein is coming from Vital Wheat Gluten. That is a very low quality protein source. Very low quality, meaning you're not going to absorb a lot of that protein and metabolize it. So the cookies aren't too good. Lenny and Larry's, you might as well just get a Subway cookie and drink a protein shake, because you're going to get way more protein that way. You're going to get probably less carbs, less sugar than you would if you ate the Lenny and Larry's cookie. So I'm going to pull up the macros right here, and I'm just going to go over this real quick. The ingredients is enriched wheat flour, which is basically something you might find in processed food, right? It's just a flour with no nutrients. A protein blend, which the main ingredient is Vital Wheat Gluten, cheap protein. It's got some chicory root fiber, so they added some fiber to it. Invert syrup. Some of you guys might see this on a lot of labels for protein snacks. Invert syrup is glucose mixed with fructose. And all it is sugar, table sugar mixed with water. They make it into a syrup. So it's basically sugar. It's got some real chocolate chips in it. It's got oil in it. It's basically a real cookie. Okay, so Lenny and Larry's cookies, trash in my book. Sometimes if I do eat them, it's because I need some sugar right after my workout, or I might want something like a real cookie. But I don't eat it as a supplement, as a high protein snack. There's a lot of better things that you could reach for, and I'll go over some of those things as I do each week. So hope that was helpful, guys. Hope you got some few ideas for what to eat and built an understanding of how to build a six-pack. It's not really built. It's made in the kitchen. Okay, that's the main takeaway from this. All right, guys. I hope everybody's staying safe, staying clean, and yeah, thanks for tuning in.